Yeah. Right. So we're in the packing shed now. This is an insulated room, so it's got insulation on the roof and on the walls. I kind of built this lean-to myself, so everything in here is pretty much begged, borrowed and steeled or repurposed. The only thing I actually spent quite a lot of money on is the floor. The floor is concrete, and everywhere is concrete, and that means that we can have everything on rolling trolleys. So we have about 50 little mini trolleys that we stack things up. The cooler is about, maybe a 30-second walk away. So every time we're getting stuff from the cooler, if we take a trolley, we can pile it up high and move a lot of produce back here to pack. And then all the portions are built up in crates, and then we can again wheel them back. So having wheels is really important. So when we're packing, we're deciding about what portions we want to put into the box. And obviously we'll portion up things like salad and kale, things like that, but we also portion up things that are not very frequent on the line. So potatoes, we might have a few potatoes extra, like this week we had 3 bags of alouette. And that's not our main potato in the boxes. So the main potato in the boxes would be weighed on the packing line, but we would actually go through and label up alouette, 3 bags of alouette potatoes, and put them on the shelf. It takes far less room on the shelf. It's only 3 items, and it means that we can really concentrate that important real estate on the packing line for things that we're weighing a lot of, but the things that we're just getting portions, then we'll take them off, take bags them. So this is our packing board. This is an important place that we figure out what's going on for the packing day. This is the list of vegetables that we're going to pack. These are the weights. These are the target numbers. This is what we've actually done. This is when it's actually complete. That's who's done it. And a couple of extra ones for the shop. So have we got any bagged extra for the shop, or is there any left unbagged in the cooler? So that's for the shop, really. But the important thing here is that we can fill out some of this on Tuesday morning. So we'll actually, that's actually not when the order deadline is. So the order deadline is Tuesday night. So we can fill this out on Tuesday morning. And these are all estimates. And if we have time on Tuesday afternoon, we'll start packing up some of the big items and then write what we've done. So this is what we've done. On Wednesday morning, we'll actually change all these numbers for the finalized portions. So there might be a difference overnight when the orders are actually finalized. And we'll just compare what we've actually bagged and what's the new target, and then just top up the things that we need to do. So that really means that we can get ahead on some of the items, portions the day before. It's really easy to see when it's done. We just look down the list and make sure that they're all ticks. We can see who's done it. So if they're in a specific place, or they're at the back of the cooler, we can just ask that person, we can't find the mushrooms, where are they? And then we can find them. So it just makes it a really easy, at a glance view of what we need to pack and how far we've got. So when we are packing, we pack on this bench. We've hit 4 of us here. We've each got a set of scales. We can see each other, talk to each other. We can easily see the board, so we're not wasting time figuring out, oh yeah, how many green kale? It's 98. So we can easily see everything there. And the reason why this is quite good is that you can start to collaborate. So not only can you have a social occasion and talk to each other, but actually for certain things like salad, it's good to work together. So we might have someone who is pre-labeling the bags. We might have someone who's stuffing lettuce in the bags. We might have someone who's putting in flowers, or a few flowers in each one. And then finally you might have someone at the end who's actually just sealing it, put a seal on the salad bag. So if you don't need to work together, that's fine. You can just do your portions. But if this layout means that if you do or want to work together, you can, to share up the load. Now, when we're packing, we pack in these crates. They're for portions only. They're not used for harvesting, so they're kept quite clean. And when we're packing, we agree on the number of portions in a box. So for mushrooms, it'll be 8, 8, 8, 8. So there'll be 32 portions of mushrooms in a crate. And so when we're coming to count up how much we've done, we just simply count the crates. It makes it much easier to keep a track of how much we've done, but also if we're sharing, so if 2 people are bagging mushrooms, then we can count the combined total of crates together. It just makes it much easier to keep track of. Now in terms of our actual bags or our packaging, I've got here stapled to the wall all the different types of bags that we can use. And the idea here is that you can sort of see the size of bags compared to what you need to put in it. And I've also put the price on there so that you can make a value judgment as to whether you're going to put potatoes in a 21p bag or maybe opt for a 7p bag. So the team can quickly see how much each packaging has cost us to make the appropriate decision about what vegetables are packed into. Now, when we're here, we've got easy access to everything. We've got easy access to the packaging, the crates, and so it's all kind of nice and compact. So when you were talking about ergonomics, it just makes it a lot easier to just reach around and create what you need rather than doing a lot of walking around. Okay, so that's the packing shed. When we're packing, we would always try and do this on a Wednesday, so we know what the final numbers are. We'd always try and do the small numbers first. So there's 8 portions of French beans there. So we'll always try and get the low frequency portions done first. And that means that we've got coverage of everything and we can actually start packing with no delays. And then we'd pick the big numbers and get to critical mass. So there's 177 mushrooms to pack. We might pack 50 or 60 of those, and then when we've got a good amount of those big items packed, we can then split the team up. So we can have 4 people on the packing line starting the packing, and then we've got the, we can have a team here continuing to pack. And that's basically allows you to do parallel working rather than waiting for everything to be finished before you can start packing. So it gives you more time on the packing line if you wish. Okay, so we're going to head out into the actual packing line itself to show how we pack the boxes. Okay, so when we get to the actual packing line, we start off by printing out all the labels for the run. So it's just 1 sticker per order. And then we have to label the boxes. These are all of our unstickered, or these are all the ones that have been de-stickered from last week. And you'll notice that all of the boxes have the onion at the top as opposed to the carrot. And that basically means that we know that we'll always put the sticker on top, on this side. In this case, it's on the nasturtium as opposed to the bee. So if it's always on the same side, it means that it's predictable. The driver knows which way it is. When we're de-stickering it, we don't have to look at both sides. We're only having to look at one side. So it just makes it a lot quicker if you standardize where the label actually goes. So all of these are then got ready on Tuesday night, ready for Wednesday morning. So they're all lined up here. And then we go through our list of stickers in reverse order. So I put the last one at the back. So I'll just pull off this one. And I eyeball it, and I go, well, okay, it's a small, so it's going to be a small box. The next one is going to be a medium, so that's going to be a bit bigger. But anyway, so I'll put this there. So in effect, it ends up being in reverse order in these crates. I can fit about 30 boxes in each one of these, and at the start of the day, this shelf is completely full, plus another couple of crates here. And that's 400 boxes ready for the orders, for the delivery runs. So when we get to the actual packing, we'll just pull off the first crate of the first run, put it down beside us. These are all in order, and then I start packing. So this is the first zone. We each have a tablet, and the way, in terms of the station layout, it's really important to put the items based on 3 things. A, how heavy they are. B, whether you weigh them on the line or not, and C, how many portions there are, so how frequent, how often they're in the boxes. So if they're really heavy, they should really be on this shelf so that you're not restocking up there. In terms of ergonomics, you really want your main activity to be right next to the tablets. So when we're looking at organizing the station, we'll actually print out everything that's on the root zone on a bit of paper here, and we go through and go, okay, well the four most frequent items would be potatoes, carrots, onions, and parsnips. So I'll make sure that they are there right in front of me, and actually in alphabetical order, because they come on the packing screen in alphabetical order, and I want to be able to work from left to right. So that is where the bulk of my work will be, and then I'll pull off just the occasional pre-portioned item up here, so that I've got a whole array there where I can just pull them off, and it just makes it a lot easier to, there's not so much moving around. I've got my scales on this moving tray, so I'm filling up my box, getting the next one, putting them in this case it's just carrots, so I just put carrots, and then I chuck it down the line for the next person. So when we get to the next person, there might be 3 or 4 boxes in between each one, so this person might be working on, say, box number 20, the roots might be working on box number 30 or whatever, maybe 25, and further up the line, maybe they're just finishing the first box of the run. So by having quite a few boxes in between the stations, it means you can soak up any imbalance in load in terms of effort that you've got to do to pack the boxes. So you might find that there's a big flurry of fruit, whereas if you've got a big buffer, you've got a little bit of wiggle room in terms of waiting for the next box to come along the line. You've got a buffer of 4 or 5 boxes in between each station. So I've got to the next one, and this is the blue zone. So the first thing I would do is I would look at the root zone. Okay, there are carrots. I'd look in the box. Yes, there's carrots. Okay, that's good. I've done my error checking. Now I do my things here. So I've got 2 eggs, some courgettes, and a squash. I put those in and pass it down the line. And again, the next person, the first thing they would do is to look at the blue zone, because they're now the green zone, to say, right, okay, yes, I've got the 3 items there. I've done my error checking, and I can carry on. So we're always just trying to do that error checking on the line as we go. And we found that if you're just checking a couple of items, i.e. just what's happened on the previous station, you're just looking at what's on the top of the box. You don't have to empty it. You don't have to unpack it to find out what's going on. And it's far easier to keep in your head 3 items, so you look at it rather than actually looking through the whole list of everything that's in the box. So that will go along here. As a rule of thumb, we can probably get about 45 to 50, maybe not quite that many, maybe 30 orders on the run its entirety. So the last station might be on the first order, and the first station might be on order number 30. So you're just pushing it down the line. Anytime you need to change the box, we just go back here and get a bigger box or get a duplicate box and put it on top. You don't repack it. You don't. You just pile it up, and it's the end station that would do the final repacking if it does need to be. That means that you're not attempting to, repack it multiple times. In the past, we might have put a medium box into 2 smalls, and then by the time we got to the end, we realized actually it's be 2 mediums. So you're kind of wasting that repacking step. So we always do the repacking at the end. So that's passed up here. And this is the final station. This is the one where you've got to be a little bit more careful. We actually pre-portion out everything that needs to go in from this station into the run. And if there's anything left, so if there's any salads left or any herb bunches left, then we know that we've made a mistake, and we can go through the list and rectify the problem then and there rather than the customer discovering it. So when we get here, this is where the person might do some fixes. So I did notice that here there's a box that had a flap that's come off. So we've got a little glue gun here. We might just quickly glue that down to fix it. we've got tape here, so if there's a little patch, then we can quickly fix the box before it goes out. The main thing is it's got structural integrity. If it's got structural integrity, it means we can pile the boxes up and they won't collapse. If this person needs to add a label, so maybe the order's gone across multiple boxes, then it's very easy just to print off another label. So this person would just print off a label. It would be spat out there, and then I would write one of two, two of two on each box and put them together so that they, the drivers know that the order is spread across multiple boxes. So by the time we get here, we're now going to stack them up. So if you can imagine that this is box number 1, 2, 3, 4, we pack them up in threes. So I do this in reverse order. So I'm taking this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll put that on the pile. And that means that obviously that's the first one that will be used rather than you don't want one at the bottom of the stack. And then we put them on these rolling pallets. The mediums all go together and they get piled onto the pallets in a very specific order. So the medium ones go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then lengthways 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's 10 piles of 3 on the pallet. And so we'll just take this bunch of 3 and complete the pallet. So we've got 30 boxes there. And then we'll put a pallet separator on top and start again. So we'll start another 3 boxes here. 1, 2, 3. Like this. And then start building it up again. So the reason for that is that when the drivers get in the morning, there's a very definite order to take them off. You don't really have to do much thinking. They've been packed from there to there. You simply reverse it. You go from here to there, and then pack it, go from there in the van. Now the smalls are just slightly different. You can get 14 on a rolling pallet rather than 10, so that's why we actually pack them on different pallets when they come off the line. And typically if the delivery run is less than about 70, at the end of the run, so we've made sure that there's nothing left over, we're happy the box is okay, we'll take these smalls and put them on top of the medium so that the delivery run is just on one pallet. And then it's a simple case of rolling the pallet into the cooler, ready for the delivery next day. These rolling pallets, so we use wheels everywhere. It's just a set of wheels that we screwed onto a pallet. We actually designed our cooler door to fit a pallet in its narrow width, and the height of the door is 9 boxes high. So we actually had the door designed so that we could actually easily roll those in. We pack the Fridays first so that they're at the back of the cooler, and then we do Thursdays last so that they're in front of the cooler. So when the drivers come on Thursday morning, they're just pulling out the first pallet for the vans, rather than having to unpack everything and get the ones at the back. Okay. When it comes to the van, so like I say, we reverse the order. The drivers will just pick up the 3s. So we're not doing one box at a time, we're picking up 3s. And then we start packing the van. And this can actually fit in exactly the same orientation. This can fit 10 boxes in a layer, so 3. You can quite easily get about 58 boxes in this. So 30 up here and then another 28 up there. It just gets slightly narrow at the top, so you can't maintain the 10 all the way up. So you can fit 58 mediums in the back here, and then we can get 69 small boxes in the front. So that's an awful lot of boxes in a small van. Because it's so tightly packed, and we've got these pallet dividers, it means that it keeps the thermal mass, it keeps the boxes quite cold. Because they've been in the cooler overnight, they come out and they're still quite cold in the van throughout the whole day. So it keeps them in good condition. Around the back here, we are restocking our shelves. So we have 4 people on the packing line, and then we have one other person who is in charge of tidying up, solving problems, and restocking. So here we just go around the back, and as the people on the workstation take out the trays, the crates, there'd be a gap, and they would simply slide down. So we're restocking all of the produce from here. Before we start, this is full of refills. So everything here is piled up, ready to go, so that we're kind of ready to rock and roll. We've done the packing. We've loaded up the van. Anything else?
Paperwork? How do the drivers? Is it?
Okay. Good. So on the mornings we have this simple summary for the drivers. It's just the van splits, so each driver can see what they need to be loading as extras into the van. So obviously they're putting in the boxes, but also we have household refills that we don't really want to put inside the boxes, and we get bread deliveries that are delivered in the morning. So they'll quickly look through what needs to be in each run, put them in a crate, put them separately in the van, so that when you get to the actual doorstep, you're taking out the order, but then you're just adding those extra bits. Now, just as a fail-safe, we actually just put a little mark. So when we're packing, we'll put a squiggle here that says that there's an extra. It just is a visual cue for the drivers. It's quite easy to get into autopilot when you're delivering. Just pull up at the doorstep, grab the box, and put it on the doorstep. So if there's a little visual cue there, it just means that you can look at the order on the driver app to see what you need to add to it. So it's pretty simple. We've managed to definitely streamline the stacking and how we put items in the van, and it's made it a lot easier to manage and a lot quicker to get through the day.